Hopefully, I don't get it all in my. All right. I hope you're ready to hear this. So, what I'm about to share with you is something that happened to me when I was in my bath yesterday. Okay. So, I just want you to clear your minds and just clear it, okay? Just clear it, clear your thoughts. Because at night when you sleep, we can astral project ourselves into different timelines and go to different places. And I have been really amped up for the past year, going to different places, seeing different things, coming back with the information, writing it down, talking to only very close select friends of mine, just one or two people about what I'm experiencing, and only one person particularly, that we decode all of the work we do, things that I find or something. So I was in my tub and I just had a lot of things on my mind. I had, I was at the word Antarctica was coming up a lot. And this next solar eclipse is going to be hitting on the 4th of December. And it's going to be over the Antarctica area. And then coming down, I think, South America, Africa, Asia, Australia. I think they're the ones that are going to get checked. Pretty much have the experience of this total solar eclipse. Okay, this solar eclipse. So with a solar eclipse, just like a lunar eclipse, a lot of things come in that doorway, those portals. Okay, those portals. I call them portals because if it's lunar, you're not going to be able to see what's coming through the back door. All right. When it's solar, it's like activity. It's total eclipse of that, and that's another doorway. Just saying, hypothetically, just make an observation. You know, allegedly. There you go. So I kept having these images of it. And I said, God, what is up with this? Why do I keep seeing Atlantic? I'm like, you know what I'm saying. Why do I keep seeing that? The Antarctica. Why I keep seeing it? And I said, I said, I know there's activity going on up there. That I know for a fact. Okay. Know that. But what's really going on up there? uh, oh my God, what I'm about to share with you, hold on to hold on to your seat. Because I'm still sitting back and I'm still thinking about it. I'm like, dang. So one of the things that I know that's in the secret space community, they always talking about the certain kind of healing modalities, the beds and all this stuff, right? Okay. I'm sorry to bust the bubble on that, but it depends on what timeline you are on when you're seeing certain things. Is that the old timeline? Or are you on the new organic timeline when you're receiving your info? Got to know your timelines. So I was on the newer timeline when I saw what I saw. And I slipped into like some kind of, I was just in a tub. I was just relaxing, just going into that space. And I went straight into this drop. and I was there. And my body got extremely cold. I was cold. I was like, oh my God, I'm so cold. And I would just remember saying, where the hell am I? And I look and I said, I'm at I'm in Antarctica. I'm like, oh my God. So I literally was inside. I'm gonna have to call it the beehive, a downward company built down in this ice area and down into the core of Mother at the top. And as I was in there, I'm looking around. Everything was big, giant. Like giants could work with this, and giants, big, big metal hangars, and just a lot of space, but big space like doors that had numbers on them. And then I'm walking around and I'm like, oh my God, but I just see people. They're wearing certain kind of suits that keeps them warm. They have, all this technology. There was all this um, dimensional, Obi-Wan Kenobi dimensional stuff where it's projected out into the air and they were touching. And I'm like, I'm just walking, but nobody sees me. At least that's what I'm thinking. Nobody sees me. So I'm seeing it and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? So I'm walking around and I'm looking and I see these pod shaped dome things. And I'm like, huh. And I saw a person inside of it. And I'm like, huh, what's going on here? So I kind of drift up and it kind of ripples. It does this ripple effect to allow you in so you can see. But it was not like the whole thing was like the building was cold or anything. It had really clean air. It felt really good. It felt weightless. That's what it felt like. It felt like nothing was could hurt you or what your body just felt really different in this space. So I'm looking around and I'm like, what the hell? So I drift up on this dome thing. And I'm gonna show you a picture of what I draw. And this is what it looked like. So I'm gonna explain it. It was like a shape of the egg dome thing. And this is the upper dome that had different colors running through it through frequencies. Frequency codes were running through this and the colors. Underneath where the person was lying, this is the table. Underneath it was the silver and copper like coils with huge coarse crystals in between them, all the way down on the bottom, okay, generating this. But what was running up through here, these colors, was plasmic light. It was electrons and protons and neutrons, current, plasma, okay, plasmic generated gel. That's the only way I can really describe it, like a gel. But it was like watery, and it's running up on the top of this and over the person. And then what it does, it runs up on the top and then it gets to the center core after it runs back and forth. And then it's calibrating the person's body. And then it starts to spiral. And then the colors spiral down. And then it overlays over the person. And it's all frequency. It's all this frequency energy. And it's going through the person's body. So I don't know what they're really laying on here, if this part was crystallized or if this was gold plated, because they have to be able to use those to help a body to regenerate, because gold will do certain aspects, silver will do certain aspects, and copper will do certain aspects. But when you interlace them all together with crystal, you got a whole different story going on. So it is all about the healing in the stone. So these things are already on our planet. They're already on this planet. So I don't know what timeline everybody else is talking about, but they're already on our planet. And Mother Earth, when she's calibrated how she vibrates, she can take in any kind of frequency and vibration. Okay. Point blank, period. We don't have to do anything for her. She does that. She's the one that can calibrate her own self and accelerate when she needs to accelerate. I don't know where other human beings are thinking that they can think from Mother Earth. Stop it. She's got this. So this pod generator is the healing thing. And I'm like, holy Toledo. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, they're already here. I said, okay. So they're, and it's like I was just drifting through. I could see they had like tons of these liquid light things that floated. There was a lot of geometry type of things that were floating through the air on their own in this space because they learned how to do that anti-gravity in that spot. So things were just hovering, a lot of hovering going on down there. And I was just like, I said, look at this. We already have all this. Look at this. And it kind of, here's the thing. It kind of was reminding me of a lot of sci-fi movies that you've seen. You would see with different type of big doors and the space, like Alien, how they had the big doors with the gate numbers on it. So I'm just looking, I see personnel walking around. They have on a different type of suit that allows their body temperature to be maintained. hmm Look very nice. Everything very professional. Everything way advanced than what we deal with on our thing, on this timeline, on the third dimensional timeline. They have literally warped a portal where they're in and out of it all the time. That's what goes on up there. And then I kept saying, God, everything's so big. In a flash, I see these tall extraterrestrial beings down there. I'm like, that's a Zeta. That's an Andromeda. Working together. Yeah, sounds kind of crazy, doesn't it? Well, I'm just saying, this is what happened. You could take it or leave it. I really don't care what you think. I know what I experienced. And I came back and I drew it down and it wouldn't leave me alone. That's how you know you were somewhere and it won't leave you alone. So here's the next part that happens. So I'm wandering and it's kind of like I'm drifting, kind of like floating. I'm like, what the heck? And it's like boom, 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 like I'm rippling through down there. And I see this one gate I come up on, gate number 26. I'm like, what the hell's behind this door? And it goes up and I go in and I'm like, what's going on here? And all of a sudden I feel this sharp pain in my right shoulder. And I physically, when I'm in the tub, feel it at the same time. And I'm like, what? And all of a sudden, I remember seeing everything started kind of going blurry and it kind of hurt. And I remember I was trying to move and I was trying to see and I felt it again. And it felt like I was getting shocked. And I was like, what? And then next thing I look and I'm laying on this table. It's like a silver table, but it wasn't really silver. It was kind of like silverly, but crystal-like. Like it floated. And I'm laying on this table and I'm like, oh shit. I think somebody saw me. And I am hearing this commotion. How did she get in here? Who is she? Where does she come from? What timeline did she come from? Find out. How did she get in here? Because she got in here, others can do it. And I'm laying there and I'm saying, oh my God, I got found out. Oh my God, I gotta get back to where I am. I gotta get back to my bathtub. So I'm laying there and I'm like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And all I can think of is I call on my dragon and I said, hey, you got to come and get me. And my dragon was there because they are the higher dimensional ones, grabbed me, got me out there. And then it was, whew, and then I felt myself when I came back to my body. And I just went, oh my God. And my shoulder was sore. Like somebody had just shot the living crap out of me. And I just kept putting water over it, water over it, water over it. And I just kept bringing myself back into space, doing my spiral light. And I just kept saying, okay, breathe in, breathe in. And I just came back into the spot. And I just said, oh my God, why are there so many lies? Why is there so many lies? Why can't people just tell the freaking truth? What is so hard about telling the truth? Why is it so hard for people to share knowledge? I don't understand this whole thing. I was just like, I was just, I don't know, that stayed with me the whole night when I was laying in bed, when I was thinking, and I just said to myself, I said, this makes no freaking sense to me. We had this technology the whole time, and there's this belief that, oh no, there's going to be a certain time frame. What timeline are you on when you're looking at it? If you're looking at stuff on a weird timeline, on an old timeline, of course that's how long it's going to take. But if you're looking on the new organic timeline of Mother Earth timeline, the fifth dimensional on up, it's like this. It's already here. So what timeline are you guys looking on? Everybody's got to get on the right timeline. The real timeline, not this fake ass one. Not this one that's been keeping us dumbed down. The real one. That's the secret to everything that's going on right now. What timeline are you watching it from? And it's the same thing. I had a huge message about astrology. Everybody's kind of picking at each other about information about astrology. Here's a question. What timeline are you looking at? Is it the third dimensional timeline that this information, what you're graphing and seeing, it's at where you're seeing it? Or are you looking at the new timeline? Because the new timeline is all about everything has taken place, everything is good. The old timeline keeps the fear factor going. It wants to repeat itself. It wants to interloop back there. That's what it always wants to do. That's why we keep losing our time. We keep losing our freedom from this situation. That's what's been happening. So every time, for instance, when there's a war, and I've said this before on my other videos, when there's a war, that's their reset time to mess with our minds, to give us the Mandela effect, to give us the deja vu, to give us that because they want to take back 70, 80 years. Okay, so just imagine you're going forward, say 2020, say like we're going to 2022. But if you go back 70 years, what's 70 years from this time? It's back in 19 something. But you're in 2022, but it's actually really 19 something. They're stealing the time, resetting us back. And we can't be going back now. So I know what I experienced. I know what I've seen. This place is full on operational, and it is highly secured. You really do have to be able to get through there, not in the body. It can't be flesh. But for some reason, somebody saw me. I must have went through something that calibrated my electrons on my body, and they picked me up, and I got zapped. boom, boom. I was like, what the heck? How did she get in here? That's all I heard. Find out, because if she can get in, others can. Where is she from? I was like, oh crap. Got found out. Now keep in mind, this happened when I was in the bathtub, and then water is a portal. You learn how to really use water in the bathtub. You can go anywhere. It's just like your mindset, how the movie Somewhere in Time. Christopher Reeves wanted to go back in time. Okay. He put on everything so he could go back to that date, 1960, whatever it was. Went back to that timeline. He wore the same clothes. He didn't have anything modern around him. He got everything of that time period. And then he was able to get himself into that space, and he went back to that timeline, living on that timeline until he discovers, he pulls out a penny and it had the actual year on that penny that brought him out of that timeline. So anything is possible. I just know what I experienced. I just know what I saw. And I know that these healing pods are already here. They're already here. So everybody stop all this shenanigans about when they're coming and when they're going to be here and blah, blah, blah. Really? Knock it off. They're already here. Some of them are in certain areas that are only being used by certain people and being experimented with. But this is what I saw. This is what it looks like. This is what the crystals. Now, here's the thing. I know for a fact that a lot of certain quartz crystals you can't get your hands on now. Have a lot of dealers are having a hard time getting quartz crystals. I wonder why. Wonder why. What's it used for? I know when I work with my quartz crystal, how it makes my body feel. It re-energizes me. I put a huge generator in the bathtub, generating the water, setting a frequency. Yeah. So I just wanted to come on here and share this. I also wanted to talk about when we're going into the year 2022. Okay, so we've been doing a lot of coded work with, when you say like this in December, we're going to have December, the numbers add up to a certain frequency. So we're going to have 12, 12, 20, 21. Okay. Then we're going to have 12, 21, 20, 21. Coded numbers that we're going to be working frequency. Okay. Our last one that we're going to have is going to be in February. February is going to be a 2, 2, 2022. And then February, the very last one will be 2, 22, 2022. Then that's it. We will not have any more numbers, coding, matching, timelines, portal activations in this time until we get to 30. Okay, the year 3000. Okay, till we get to that. Year 3000. Sounds kind of weird, huh? Wait a minute, not the year 3000. What am I thinking? No, wait a minute. That's right. 8 years from now. God, time be flying by fast. So 8 years from now, that would put us at the year 3000. Am I thinking that right? No, that can't be right. That's not right. because that only would put us at, I'm thinking 2030, 2030. There we go, 2030. That'll put us at 2030. I'm thinking 3000 already. That would put us at 2030. So with the 2030, then we will have dates like, it'll still only be matching that one date, but not a month. So technically, I asked the question, what is that called? And they said that's a zero gap. You don't have anything in between that until you get to the reset of the year 3000. I said, okay, that makes sense. Um, so the year 3000 will reset all over again. Then we'll have those coded number 3001. That would be like your February, no, your March 3, then the one date, then that number following, those sequence numbers. But February of next year is going to be the last sequence numbers that we have of a month that coincides with the year. So we'll have our December one, and then February is the last one. Now, with us moving into 2022 is a 6-year vibration. So that 6-year vibration energy is putting in that energy of integration. And guess what? It's integration of the soul. It's integration of the soul chakra. It's integration of that integration of the mother water flowing. It's creativity time. It is that earth grounding structure time. And it is a part of that inter mastery feeling, the perfect balance of 3 plus 3, how that flows. And then the number itself represents the letter F. Okay. So it's 1 to empower others and freedom to move higher and observe. Is the number 33 equals 6 equals 2, which is balance. The male and female triangle, which is the triangle on top and then this triangle drawn at the bottom. It's kind of like the Star of David. So it's that balancing. So we're moving from a changing energy into an integrational period. And that energy is what we're going to be really moving into. It is that integrated of the soul. So when we're talking about ascension, basically all it is our soul vibration moving up, and we're coming out of amnesia. We're coming out of the anesthesia. And then coming out of that anesthesia means, okay, whoa, I'm seeing things. I'm feeling things differently. I'm, interacting with my spirit in a different way. And I'm feeling things differently. That's what this is representing. So next year, whatever's happening in December, how that energy unfolds, is going to be the activation taking us into this number 6 vibrational energy. Here's the deal. The upgrades that I received from what happened in the bathtub yesterday has been nonstop. So much to the point to where I'm like, I gotta rest. I gotta lay down. And eating. I'm like, I was so hungry, and thirsty. Can't get enough. I'm very, very thirsty. And I know wherever I went, it really, my hair just got super, super dry, like for no reason. And I said, God, my hair has never been this dry. It feels like it's just dry, dry, dry. So I took extra care with it after I got back running around and did my hair and got it back on track. And I was like, can't be having that. So, but I'm just saying, I noticed how dry it was. And I was like, why is it so dry? It's so weird. I know our atmosphere right now has been hit with a lot of solar energy from the sun, and that's whipping up a lot now. So pay attention. A lot of things are happening around us. And we just need to look up, pay attention, catch it in the sky. So this dome, this particular healing pod is really kind of cool. And it hovers. It's a hovering one. And I said, look at that, anti-gravity. They got the coils in there working, generating the electrons and the protons to shoot fast into a body that can sustain the frequency of it, changing the molecular components and amplifying up the cells of a body to speed up healing. Yeah, I figured it out. My territory. Frequencies. That's what I do. This is spiral light. That's what we do. It's and I was just like in awe. I was like, wow. It was like, oh my God. And in the back of my mind, I'm saying, I hope nobody sees me. The whole time. I hope nobody sees me. But yeah, I somebody saw me. They were trying to figure out who I was. So if you guys, if I come up missing, you'll know why. But I seriously doubt they won't be bothering me. They have to put it all together. So anyway, I just wanted to come on and share that. And if you've been having dreams of that or feelings of that, walking around in that, don't think you are crazy at all because something's going on. And the solar eclipse is about to light it up. They're going to be using that energy to really activate the portal hub of Antarctica. Right there, they're gonna the Antarctic. They're really gonna set it up. It's gonna be fully activated. So it's activated now, but they're taking it to the next level. So this should be interesting, shouldn't it? How our technology, all of a sudden, you're just gonna wake up and there's gonna be new technology all around you. You're not gonna know how the hell did this all take place. This is why it's very important right now to understand your timelines. This is very important right now to trust yourself. It's very important right now to stay out of fear factor as much as possible because it lowers your frequency. Because that's where they want you to be. They want you to be distracted. They want you to be fearful. I'm sorry, I don't have time for that. I just don't. I don't have time. Got things to do. So anyway, I hope this brings some attention to some of you that might be feeling that. Remember, it's about the timelines. If you're looking at stuff on an old dimensional timeline, of course you're thinking it's going to happen again. But if you're on a different timeline, the accelerated one, the new one, that's an entirely different story. Which one are you on? All right. I delivered my info. I hope this was good for you. And I really don't care if you believe me or not. I know what happened. I know where I was. That's all I have to say about that. All right. Be so light. Bye.